Rainbow Family Life Stories by Jodey Bateman. Interviews with Rainbow Family of Living Light folks conducted between 1977 and 2008. Scanned in 2018. Jodey Bateman may be contacted on Facebook, 05.C.Intro.Hammond, Family, Jaysun, Feather and Grasshopper. This is Jodey's introduction to his longest account of a nuclear family inside of the Rainbow family, first interviewed in November 1978. This is the longest account I have of a nuclear family inside the Rainbow family. Jaysun and Feather met at the first gathering at Granby in 1972. They stayed together until 1982 and raised 2 children and endured the death of another one, with belief and the help of the strengths of Rainbow and their own strong spirit. Then they had a breakup which reflects the strains between the counterculture and the dominant society. One main event that created strain that led to the breakup was when Jaysun asked Feather to have an abortion in 1976. Feather went through with it, then realized how deeply she did not want an abortion. The Rainbow family is a group many women come into to find a place to have children, not an abortion. Most women I have talked to in Rainbow tell me they believe that women have a right to have an abortion, but most women who had abortions before they met up with the Rainbow family have told me that they would not consider having an abortion since they got involved with the family. Although money is scarce among Rainbow people, the community of trust in Rainbow inspires many women with a desire to have children. In 1978, Feather had to have another abortion to save her life. Jaysun had a vasectomy afterward to save her from having to go through that experience again. Yet even after all this, Feather was constantly asking me if I knew of any small children she could take into her home, a common practice in Rainbow. At the time of the first abortion, Jaysun was thinning trees in the national forests, a hard job that paid a bare subsistence, just enough to support him and Feather and the 2 children they already had. There was no job that would pay any better in the wilderness areas where Jaysun, like many Rainbow people, had committed himself to live. He did not want to raise children in a city. Also, he felt that a tightly scheduled and controlled job, the sort he would have to take in a city, would keep him from being the kind of person he wanted to be as a father, no matter how much it paid. In his story, Jaysun describes his reaction to controlled, hierarchical jobs he had on a drilling rig, and as an iron worker. Gray Eagle, whose life story is in another section of this book, told me that when he first knew Jaysun and Garrick, it was difficult for him to see them as hard-working people. Although he knew they exerted huge amounts of hard effort, to Gray Eagle real work meant keeping at the same job, as he did on the railroad for 30 years, no matter how dull and repetitious. This is almost the complete opposite of the values of Jaysun and Garrick, and almost anybody strongly committed to the counterculture. Tracy, known to Rainbow as Grasshopper, is Feather's daughter by a previous marriage. From ages 7 to 17, she lived in remote backcountry areas of New Mexico with Jaysun as her stepfather. Earlier, she had lived with her mother on Wheeler's Ranch, a hippie commune in California, and after Feather and Jaysun married, she took part in the Rainbow gatherings with them. Yet, in rural New Mexico, she had to adapt herself to young people her own age from extremely conventional and conservative backgrounds. She gives an interesting picture of the second generation of the counterculture. Editor's note: Hammond was Jaysun's surname.